Hello everyone, my name is Eric Mullins, and today we're going to be unboxing something special. I've been waiting a long time for this one. It is the re-release of Prince Eugen from Azur Lane. She is from the KMS Axis fleet, the Iron Bloods, basically the Germans from World War II in that series. She's absolutely gorgeous, she's massive, but I'm gonna let future Eric take care of that.
Shut up, past Eric.
Because I'm currently in Japan at the moment. That's why I've got this weird setup here. I'm just like sitting on a bed here. So I'm gonna unbox it, open it up, and then future Eric's gonna take it away. Oh, future Eric. I bet you wish you were still here, don't ya?
It's true though. I do miss being in Japan.
Yeah, you do. Let's open her up. Here, I'll show you a bit. Looks like this. It's pretty, very pretty. It comes with an instruction manual. It's actually a pretty big one, 2 pages, like a whole fold open thing. This is wild. There's like heads coming off and everything. This is not gonna be an easy one to put together. Let's get at it. Oh, this is so cool. Look at this. She comes with like a cool Dr. Octopus little mechanism here. Take it away, future!
The unboxing was done in Japan. However, I repackaged her and put her in all this bubble wrap and stuff and tried to protect her for the trip here, so I'll show the unbagging right now.
Everything arrived. Can't guarantee it arrived safely. We're gonna have to open them up and find out. With 2 bags of accessories and 1 bag holding the figure. Like, look at this. This should have broken. I don't want it to, but it's just... Oh, yeah, I lost one.
So incredibly lucky. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The fact that she literally broke, the only one that broke on me during the entire trip, and the piece didn't really break, I still can't believe how lucky that was. So today we're going to be talking about Iron Blood's Prince Eugen, and let's check her out, see how well she's built. It's created by the company Alter, and my goodness, they did an amazing job. I'm not really sure if there are any changes between the original release and the re-release. I'm going to start off by talking about the base plate, which is, you know, kind of boring. It works. It's hollow, but solid enough. The designs that they chose to put all here look pretty cool. It has that Azur Lane thematic to it, which is nice, and it matches up with the other Alter figures that they've created in the past, so I guess this is okay, but I still would have liked something cooler. Kotobukiya knows what they're doing when it comes to bases, but I guess what could they have done? Maybe some water? That would have been kind of cool. She has 3 metal stabilizing pegs that keep her afloat. This is amazing. I would take metal over transparent plastic any day. This figure is heavy, and I don't want any breaks. Plus, I feel like those plastic ones would have snapped for sure during my trip. Maybe not for sure. I was pretty careful. But regardless, I'm glad that they went with metal here. I like a stable figure, and the metal kind of works with Iron Blood too. Moving up from the pegs, let's talk about that sexy, sleek boat action. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. Ooh, and black and white too? Yeah. Some of you are into that, I can tell. I'm a big fan of Monster Girls, and the fact that Iron Blood likes to incorporate robot pieces with their monster pieces, I always thought was amazing. Usually you're going to get that from Sakura Empire, while Eagle Union likes to focus on their robot girls, and then I guess you have the Royal Navy, that's basically just the maids. They're usually very frilly and elegant. But enough of them. We're talking about Eugen here today, and she would not appreciate me talking about other ship girls. She'd probably kick me one. These boat appendages are amazing. From the little wooden plank details to all the really cool gun turrets. It's fantastic. I know a lot of them actually resemble the gun turrets used in the boat back in the day, so that's cool. I love how Azur does this, mixing up all their World War II facts with some of their more modern age anime manga girls. It's just really cool. One thing to mention that I would say is kind of a downside to this, but at the same time you can't really avoid it. Dusting her is kind of a nightmare. You gotta be really careful. I use makeup brushes to dust my figures, and even then I'm kind of freaked out that something might pop off or break or snap or get scratched. There's so many little nooks and crannies, and her back Dr. Octopus piece that holds everything together is so gorgeous, so professionally painted. There's hardly any paint bleeds on her, which is very surprising, and the few that I have here or there looks like it could just fit in with the aesthetic of this warship in the first place. The choice to utilize a chrome painting and then afterwards go into more of a matte look is beautiful, feels very military. It mixes up that old 1940s or late 30s designs with some of the more modern age futuristic stuff and aliens that you get from Azur Lane. I love the teeth, that's very cool. The color pattern of everything is pretty on point for something from Germany, World War II. It's cool to see that they add all these little ladders and latches as if this was just shrunk down boats. But I mean, these ship girls are human size, so it's just a nice little touch. I find it super cool that she actually has like a handle latch with a trigger attached to it. Who knows what that does? There's only one on one side, but it's just cool. All the wiring and the pieces that you get and extra weaponry underneath her larger boat pieces next to her head are very cool. They put details in every single little angle that it's hard to decide what angle to put her on when she's sitting on your shelf, because she looks good from all of them. She actually cannot be mounted without all of these pieces on it. I mean, of course you could remove some of the end pieces, but I mean the Dr. Octopus and everything like attachment to her is actually the main peg and grounding piece to holding the figure, so you actually do need to attach everything. You can't have her without the armor. The assembly on her took me quite a bit of time to do, but you know, I had a piece that was broken, and you gotta be careful because there are so many little sharp pieces here and there. You don't want to clip something, scratch something, or snap something along the way of your journey to building Prince Eugen. Now let's talk about the figure, because this figure is fantastic. She looks so much like her source material. The shape of her face, the eyes, the little finger on her lips, the cut of trim of the costume, the folds going over the clothing. It is very, very accurate and very beautiful. It's Alter. Eugen's design in general is incredibly nice, with all the trim, cut, and colors that you would expect from something during the Second World War Germany. And it's done very well here, very accurate to the source material, while at the same time being very accurate to the anime aesthetic and cool concept design that they created her with. The pose that they chose to put her in, with the finger on the lip, it's very adorable, but at the same time, because of her curves and her shape and her design in general, it really is a little spicy. And for those of you that play the game, you know she's quite the spicy character. She's so aloof and she's never very direct with anyone, and you never know what she's thinking while she has all these plans building up in her head. Plans on top of plans on top of plans. She's quite nefarious. But it turns out most of her plans are all for good things at the end of the day, so she's kind of pretty sweet. It's very beautiful that the paint job puts in all of the matte mixed with metallics, much like her robotic pieces around her. I really like how there's indentations for almost everything, so it's not just painted on, you actually see the fabric or the metal folding on top of one another. It's super cool. All the little latches and belts to these little tie pieces coming off of her hips, along with the buttons that you see on her clothing making their way up. They even have little embroidered designs on them. I'm not even finished talking about her, and honestly, I can understand why the first release of her ended up going for over 900 bucks. She's very, very well made. And I couldn't be happier that they had made a second release. My goodness, this was awesome. I actually picked her up from AmiAmi. I had pre-ordered her, but when I went to Japan, because I had gone through quite a bit of hassle having to deal with my Kotobukiya Astra Archer being shipped to my hotel, I decided to not take any chances. They only had one of her left, and I just bought it off of the rack. And they were very nice and understanding when I ended up emailing when I canceled my order in order to pick up the figure there. I mean, I guess it's still in their pockets at the end of the day, right? That first day at Akihabara, Japan, I was already walking home with tons of bags that were huge, full of figures. And I remember thinking to myself, this should have been something I purchased at the end of my trip, not at the beginning. It was so hard carrying this all around with me, and she broke along the way because of it. But, like I said, I got really lucky with my brakes, so we're not going to talk about that anymore. Back to the figure. Her sleeves look amazing. I love them so much. I like how they bevel out at the end. That's very cool. It's sweet to see little rivets and mechanical parts attached to this overall thing that looks like it's material mixed with some metals. That's very cool. I love how she has shoulder pads. They look really great, and the whole metal harness around her neck is beautiful. Her face is round and soft, but she's got this little coy expression going on, which goes with her, I'm gonna say, fake innocence. It's just such a perfect face. It really looks like the illustration for the game. I like how round it is, because any of you that watch my older videos know how much I love my round faces. And that hair. Oh my goodness, the hair is beautiful, flowing in all sorts of directions. There aren't too many sections that look like it's actually been pieced off. However, there are a couple. It's still a little bit noticeable. This is just matter of fact for most figures of this kind of design with their hair. The second you want wide flowing hair with little strands here and there that are supposed to resemble an illustration is when you're going to end up with some of these pieces being glued in here or there. But it's really not that noticeable, though it still kind of is, so it was worth mentioning. I love the little horns that she has. That's very robot monster girly. At the same time, it kind of makes me think of those old-timey nurses with pieces on their heads. Very cute, very nice, and all around really rounds out her head. I love the roundness. I have to mention this as well. A lot of Azur Lane figures, their guns and turrets can actually move around and be placed. This one can't be. I tried a little bit, but I didn't put too much pressure. I don't want to break it, and so from my experience, they're not moving. This is how they come out. This is how it remains, which is like in the video game. It's just, I think it's cool that some of the other ones I have can actually move around. I don't know, it's just a fun feature. And I feel like they could have given it to this figure pretty easily considering the high price point that she has. I paid about 400 bucks for this, which is equivalent to the yen value that she was at the time, because our dollars were pretty one for one. Is she worth more than this? Well, that depends on you and your collection and what you love. If you're really a big fan of Prince Eugen, this really is the definitive figure. I just can't see them making a better one than this, but you know how figures are, who knows? And will they do a third release? I don't know. She's pretty awesome and pretty popular, so it's possible, but 900 and more is quite a bit, so I guess it all depends on how much your passion for Eugen is. I know a lot of you watching this are already huge Eugen fans, so we're all in it together, right? I've been waiting so long to get this one, and she is fantastic and did not disappoint at all. If you like my video just a little, it doesn't cost much for you to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. This way you'll be notified when I come out with more videos. Have an awesome rest of your day, and see you next time. Bye! I have Iron Blood secrets, and I'm not telling any of you about them. Justice, 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 justice. Shut up, both of you. You disgust me. No, she's not that mean. She's actually pretty cute.